second doesn't take first place's grid. They've still got to be back in second place where they go, and that's obviously the case for that third row, as there is a vacancy on it.
The lights are coming on now. We're getting set to go here. Superbikes race number 1. Parramatta Fest, a great start from Damon Reese, and I think he's going to take the lead as they head down into the first turn. No, maybe Scott Moir took the front running from Sloan Frost. We'll have a look on the cameras as they head down into the long back straight here at Hampton Downs. There is a big gaggle of them in the front, but it looked like a red Honda to me in the front. We'll check it as they come down into the Foster's hairpin. Is it going to be Damon Reese? Is it going to be one of the Suzukis? Just going through there. It looks like a Honda. Oh, no, it looks like a Suzuki to me, and it looks like it might be Scott Moir. And so that's a bullet start from Scott. He started from grid position number 3, and his good form of Pyro a couple of weeks ago looks like it's continuing.
He may not have gone into, for you. He may not have gone into the corner first, but I think he had more momentum. I think he'd come faster off this point of the track. So if you were to take a little segment of this, I think he was quicker into the corner. He would have rolled that momentum out of the corner and been quicker along the straight to take the advantage over Demon Damo. So look out for it. Should be the update with the hard charging Scott Moir to take control and lead
just looking at the cameras there, Neil, I think there might have been a change. Is that a Honda back in the front? No, yes it is. Yes, I think Damon Reese is back in the lead here.
And in fact, take another change in there as well, because that is now Sloan Frost that's got to second place after that good start. In fact, Scott Moir has gone back to third. Looking at Mitch Reese, he's back in fourth place in the charge through. So they're your top 4 at the moment. So they're the front row, but they're slightly different order. So good to watch. In fact, no, that's the identical order to what they were. Let's correct that. It's the identical order to what they were off the front row, but it wasn't that going down that back straight into Foster's construction corner. But there they are coming out of Motol at the moment and looking to come up, of course, on the new part of the track and join into the old as well. So it is the Honda in front of the
It's the Honda Reese in the front. Fourth through in second place. Then we go up to Scott Moir. That's Mitch Reese. So Lawrence, good performance for him on the Carl Cox Suzuki. Robbie Bugden, I mentioned he'd be hard to beat. He's up into 6th place. On the BMW was there as well. And then we go back to Daniel Medham. Now, Daniel Medham is the last of the Demon late breakers, so I'd expect Daniel to start moving his way through the field. 1:38, not bad from a standing start on a 200 horsepower superbike, but that was the time for Damon Reese that time around. So the youngest of the Reese boys leading this one, race number 1 for the superbikes. It's the penultimate round of the New Zealand Superbike Road Racing Championship, and we have got a battle on our hands here as they work their way through the Swampies curves and heading out towards the Double B. It's still the Honda in the front. Heading down into the Double B now, and if anything, he might just have extended that lead a little bit here, Neil. We'll have a quick look.
Change for the 5th. I've got it. I think that we're going to see that maybe it's if we got Sloan to push the advantage. Look out for Sloan. I think he's got it here. I think it is. Yes, it is. It is Sloan Frost that's got it. So Sloan to take the advantage. We've got the 2 Hondas we can see in the picture there. So I think we've got a tight change here at the moment as we see that wheelie going on again. So Demon Damo having trouble getting the front wheel on the ground. We'd noticed that with racing with Mitch as well on this bike. So they've got us something. Oh, and there's a change for the placing going up there. I think Mitch has just been pegged back one, so look out for that. Who was that? Is that Robbie Bugden? Obviously, no, it wasn't Mitch in there, but it's Robbie Bugden starting to make a move up through the field. So look for Robbie to be better than the 6th place he was when they had the last lap to come through.
Up the hill they'll come this time, and you'll see that Scott Moir's a little bit closer this time round on that Suzuki. You mentioned it before. The really crossed over a little bit, and there's looking for it. In fact, yeah, looking for the 2nd place run. I don't think he's going to get it around the outside. It's a long way round to pass through there. He's done a fair bit of racing, and he's got all the racecraft that he's inherited from his father, so I think he'll hold on to the spot. We'll have a look as they disappear under the laser plumbing electrical pedestrian bridge and head down into Foster's turn. He's got it. Suzuki's 1 and 2 here in the early going of the superbike. It is Sloan Frost, Scott Moir, then it's Mitch Reese, then it would be Jay Lawrence. So a great performance from Jay. He's come on like gangbusters since he's got on that 1000cc machine.
Yeah, it's looking like there could be some pressure coming up on that one as well. I'm in fact picturing that's Robbie Bugden, so look out for Robbie. I think he's come up right on the tail of Mitch Reese there, so look out. In fact, we'll get a better idea at the moment. Jay had come through. Yes, he had gone to 5th place last time. I'm picturing he's a man that's gone to 4th there at this stage, so it could be 2 Suzukis, 2 Hondas and the Yamaha in there at the moment. So there you go. Sloan Frost. Oh, changes. I think we've got Demon Damo. Damon cutting it back. So
yeah,
Damon
looks got back into 2nd place.
Yes, he has got back into 2nd.
Yeah. There's one titanic battle going on for about 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, and that involves Robbie Bugden and Dan Medham, and I think Alistair Hugabos, and we'll have a look at that as they come closer. But at the front, it is Sloan Frost leading it. They work their way down into the sweeper at the bottom end of the circuit now, and Sloan is just starting to edge out a little bit of a gap here. Don't know. There was nothing significant in the previous lap, 0.5 of a second. It might be a little bit bigger this time round. Heading up over the top of the hill, the man from Wellington, the TSSBK Fujitsu Suzuki. There he is, Sloan Frost leads it. Damon Reese has got a hell of a battle on his hands with Scott Moir. They just about touched as they went down into turn number 1. That was brilliant stuff from the youngster on the Honda. He really took it to Scott Moir that time. We're interesting to see what the outcome of that was. Really just going a little bit hot into that corner. We'll see them as they work their way into the Foster's turn 2.
And the big bad story in there, Robbie Bugden, he's dropped 4 places. So he was up to push for 4th place, but he's dropped all of those. So whatever's happened out of our sight, he's got Damon, Daniel, Alistair and Robbie have all gone, those 3 have all gone past him, so he's dropped it. So bad luck that Robbie Bugden, not the cheeriest challenge he was, but he proved how he could get up off that 3rd row of the grid to be in our top 5. I'm sure he can do it again. Watch for the fight back from the Yamaha race, Robbie Bugden, but it's Sloan from
Mitch. Yeah, my apologies. I thought it was Damo, but it's Mitch in second.
Mitch in second. In fact, something with Damo as well. How about that when you've gone from 1st or no worse than 2nd, all of a sudden down to 5th as well. So there's been some drama out on the track that we haven't all been able to see, and that's one of the things with Hampton Downs, relying on seeing what happens from point to point rather than place to following the whole sequence of racing. You're seeing it here on Ctas Live as we follow the update through the magic of Hampton Downs, this brand new extended circuit being used for big time racing for the first time as we watch a fantastic slide into the Porsche dip. I tell you what, how good was that from the 34 of Daniel Medham? Exactly as you said, Phil, this man's starting to make a move on the top riders in the field. Look out for him to make an improvement, because there he was up in the 6th. He'd improved 2 from the previous lap. You watch him to have improved. I think he's just taken another.
Have a look as they come up the hill here, because Mitch Reese has got a fantastic drive out of the bottom of the sweeper, and he'll be close to Scott Moir to Sloan Frost this time around, and he is. Moir's on his own. Then we go back to Jay Lawrence. Then it's Dan Medham. He's really starting to move up, diving down the inside from turn 1. So he's on the move. He's got up in front of Damon Reese. So changes left, right and centre here in the Superbikes. But Sloan Frost doesn't look very secure in front of the field, I've got to say, because Mitch Reese looks like he might have found another gear, if you'll pardon the pun, because he has taken the fight to the man that is the points leader going into this one.
Well, obviously, Mitch Reese, he's done the most gains out of all of this racing, because he was no better than 4th place. In fact, at one point, he was looking like he was having trouble keeping up with those other guys. And then all of a sudden, he's made the pounce and he's gone through and worked past him. To get past somebody like Scott Moir, that is incredible. We saw over the Suzuki Series, these were our leading 2 heroes, and they were putting it all together on so many occasions.
In fact, Mitch Reese has a look round the outside of Frost, and I think he might be in the front. It's a bit hard to tell from these cameras, but I think you might see a Honda in the front here.
So we're going to look out for it, fans, and if you're looking forward to seeing the racing in the update, because of course a lot of that circuit, as part of the circuit, is in a blind spot way over behind us here. Oh, he's gone, he's lost it.
Oh, he's dropped it on the dipper. Oh, bad luck there for Mitch, but he was in the front, but he's thrown it all away now.
The classic front end on the tight stuff, and he loses it through there. I'm sure it'll be okay. I don't think there'll be anything too bad in it, but there's the pressure. There's how it was, just how good he was to ride in that position, but he's lost the front end, and out he goes. Let's look at it. A DHL replay here as we come down here into the corner, and look at the buffer he pulled out. He must have had 5 or 6 bike lengths as we go through, and to come up onto it on the NZSBK corner. The Porsche dipper, look at that, throws it away, and right in front of the crowd. I tell you what, even his leathers are smoking. Look at that, he does the right thing, letting the bike go. As the bike spins, does a complete 360 to bike, and look at that, he's up okay. In fact, some parts of his body haven't even touched the ground before he's back on his feet, ready to pick up the bike again.
So there's the Suzuki pair out in the front now. Sloan Frost, Scott Moir.
Somebody else, we've got a puff of dust here as we look out for them. So
someone's gone at turn 1 by the look of it.
Yep, somebody else. So that's a bit of bad luck. Yes, indeed, it is turn 1. So that's right here off the start straight, turn 1, folks. So there it is, somebody down, the puff of dust, which tells the story. So wow, so that's one of our heroes gone, and somebody else as well. Jeff Rogerson, well, he hasn't been picked up on that previous lap, so I think it's going to be somebody else all of a sudden trying to see who's well back in our field. Somebody has gone since that moment. So
well, at this stage, Neil, it's a localised yellow, but I'm just looking because the bike's still in the gravel trap by the look of it, so we might just see red or the intervention here of some officials. Yes, what is happening here? Just looking down the pit lane, the officials looking at each other. Still a localised yellow at the moment, so the racing continues. Sloan Frost continues to lead. Scott Moir is in 2nd place.
Well, they've certainly closed it right down, though, Phil. Look at that. In fact, here goes Scott Moir. He's ready to pounce and go down on the inside towards ITM Pirelli, down on the highway end of our track, turn 10, here at the extended Hampton Downs circuit, the home of road racing here with a supercharge as we come up the hill. Once again, look how close these 2 Suzukis are, and we're going to be keen to see that third place. Is Henry Robbie's found his way back to? I'm keen to find out who's in third place and who we've got here at the moment, because that's the oh, look at that. That is fantastic. So what advantage has he made? So that's Suzuki 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah, Suzuki's ruling the roost here. Jay Lawrence in behind Damon Reese, then it would be Robbie Buckley. So he's got in front of Ali Hugerbosen for the moment. Then I think it's Jaden Carrick just going across the line there. Connor London. So the Kawasaki's running at wide astern. So we're back into full racing with 6 laps in the book, and it is Sloan Frost, the points leader, leading the race at the moment on the Fujitsu TSS Red Baron Suzuki New Zealand GSXR 1000. He is a past Superbike champion. He couldn't quite get the job done here last year, but he is looking for redemption this time round. The man from Wellington these days, ex-motocrosser. I think, Neil, that's where he gets his aggression from, but he's out in the front of this one.
And it's also where he gets his nickname from, Chopper. He was like, if people know the story of the likes of a Chopper, or even a Ben Townley, they were little feisty guys, you know, and so you just love what they've achieved in our sport. He had, like so many, he's established business and taken a break from the sport, says, oh, I'm going to have a go at this road racing game. And great to see. In fact, I've also seen him turn up. He rode the Winton Supercross last year. He also turned up in 2016 and rode a man or two motocross round on a RMZ 450. So once a dirt rider, always a dirt rider. So establishing some true credibility in New Zealand road racing now. But like so many, it doesn't matter whether we're talking about Aaron Slight or Wayne Rainey or anybody, they've all had to play on the dirt.
Yeah, absolutely right. Just looking as they go through the high pull hairpin, and Robbie Bacon looks like he's really getting some pressure now from, I think it's Ali Hugerbosen for first, second and third as they cross the stripe once again. There's Buckton. So he's maybe dropped a spot now. We'll keep an eye on that for you. But out in the front, still the Chopper. On the charge to try and take something out of this one. Jaden Carrick rode on Wanganui, the River City, the home of the Cemetery Circuit, and Jaden Carrick out of Wanganui, courtesy of Wanganui. Here on Team Reese Honda, along with Rob Whittle, the first of those Aprilias. So the Aprilia battle going on there. Sam Sharp, David Sharp with Brendan Code, Jeff Rogerson, and in fact the one now missing in here is Jamie Maindonald. So I think he might have been the one to go off at turn number 1. And after his sort of explosive run yesterday in the huge cloud of smoke when he lost the the screw off the filter cap, and oil just went everywhere in a cloud of smoke, and unfortunately all the oil spilled on his back wheel, so he went off the side of the track. It looks like it's 2 days of bad luck in a row, so wish him all the best. Silent achiever, young Jamie, like the guy, but not quite getting it all together here in road racing. So the race leaders coming out of the double B, heading down towards the existing circuit now. We'll get a really good look at them at the high pull hairpin. No change in the order, still Sloan Frost in the front, but the battle for second and third holding up now because Damon Reese really started to turn the screw on Scott Moir. They head down into the porch. It was. Sorry, it missed the white myself. It missed that. So there you go. It was checkered flag. I tell you what, Daniel Medham's got to be the star of that race for my money. He's made up more, both making up in places and also in the overall stakes as far as time is concerned. So great performance by him. His time at 1:35.4. Now it's second fastest. See, it's actually faster than Scott Moir, and he's just done that pretty late in the race as well. So nice work out there. So Suzuki, BMW, Suzuki 4 out of the top 5 out there. Sloan Frost, Scott Moir, Daniel Medham, Cody Alistair, Hugenboos, Jay Lawrence, Damon Reese in there, Robbie Bugden, Jaden Carrick. I wonder what influence the